Hi everyone, this is Isometric, and today I'm going to be giving my early thoughts and impressions on the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. I've spent most of my time in the open world testing out the new gameplay mechanics, and although they made some great improvements to the trilogy, the game does have some issues. The first thing we're going to look at are the changes to the gunplay. I think the gunplay really helps GTA 3 the most. The gunplay in the original was very clunky, the camera would zoom in close to the player, making it hard to see targets, and there was no way to freely turn the camera. We now have a good free aim system where we can easily select the target we want to lock onto. The overall movement also feels smoother and more precise. This is going to drastically change the way gunfights play out. The next major change they made to GTA 3 and Vice City is boosting the health value for the car you're driving. This is something that I talked about in my last video, and it seems like they did implement it. The first thing I did in Vice City was take my car and repeatedly slam it into a wall. I then compared it to the original version, and it does take a few more hits before the car catches on fire. This is significant because most of the earlier missions in Vice City involve car chases, and the way they normally play out is that you would ram your car into the enemy, hit a couple of obstacles, and then your car would catch on fire. You would have to quickly find another car and continue the chase. This will still happen in the Definitive Edition, but that added health is going to make car chases much less frustrating. Your car does immediately catch fire when you flip over, so you still have to be careful. The next big change is the update to the drive-by shooting mechanic. In the old games, you had to look directly to the left or right to shoot out the windows. This was pretty clunky since I would just crash into whatever's in front of me. Now, you only have to slightly tilt your camera to either side to start shooting. Once you bring the camera back to a neutral position, the character will shoot out the left window by default. This is also going to make chases easier to deal with, especially in GTA 3 and Vice City, where you have to take out the driver to end the chase. As for the game itself, there are a lot of performance issues in the current state. I've been playing on a PS5 and I've had noticeable frame rate dips on both the performance and fidelity modes, as well as some stuttering and hitching. There's also some odd character animations and clipping. I would recommend waiting until they patch these issues out before buying the game. The games are also fundamentally the same. If you were expecting major changes to the mechanics or physics, then you're going to be disappointed. I do think that most of these issues are fixable, and if they do patch these problems, I think it could be a really good remaster. It's pretty challenging to go back to the old games, and overall I'm happy that we have a version that's much more playable by today's standards. So that's it for my early impressions. I will be going into more detail in the future. This is Isometric, and thank you for listening.